Yay Networks.
Hello.
Bonjour.
Bonjour. Coming to you from France today.
Oui, oui.
I wish.
Would you like a croissant? That's all I got.
Est-ce que vous changez un chèque de voyage, s'il vous plaît?
Voulez-vous coucher avec moi?
Don't be Google translating what I said either, because it was something I learned in high school. So it wasn't bad.
Oh,
no.
I was like, oh, kinky.
No, it was just like, do you take traveler's checks? Which that's about all I remember from French class.
God, I'm Emily.
And I'm Laura.
And this is
Cheers to that shit. Boy, it's a bucket load today, isn't it?
Y'all, it's fucking hot. Okay, let's just say it. We're gonna
Summer
put it
finally
out
arrived in North Carolina.
She came in hot.
No pun intended on
she
that
was
one.
like, oh, hi. Y'all thought I wasn't coming. Boom. Melt your face off.
It's 97 degrees and it's 97% humidity.
And it is confirmed by my boob sweat, all of it.
Yep.
Fully confirmed.
I mean, I don't say yep like I know that.
You're like, yep, I saw her boob sweat.
Just agreeing with you.
Yeah,
just agreeing.
It's great. It's good times. Laura made a comment that it was too hot for her to enjoy her pool. So, we're out here struggling.
By like the third or fourth day, I was like, I don't even want to be in the pool anymore. It's not even cool, like refreshing. And it's just too hot to even be outside, even in a pool. So there's that first world problem. Again, boy, those things just sneak up on you.
I know. It's crazy how they get you. Oh my goodness. What's been going on in your life?
Just, pool, sunscreen, just living my best life.
Pool, sunscreen, indoors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't like being inside in the air conditioning in the summer because it's like so cold that you want to go outside, but then it's so hot. Like it's that time of year where, when you open your car door and it's like,
yeah, it whacks you in the face.
Yeah. It like actually takes your breath away.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's, I'm just juggling the air conditioning and the heat. It's been a rough few days.
Hard. That sounds really tough for you.
Yeah.
I had the cutest little girls trip.
Oh, I saw that on Instagram.
So one of my best friends who I've known since 8th grade. So, like 5 years ago, she has 2 girls and I have 2 girls. So we took our little chillins and we went on a cute little girls trip.
That is cute.
We went to Roanoke, Virginia, which
is that where she's from?
No, she's like originally or where she drove from.
No, I mean, I knew you went there, but I didn't know if you were going to like where she lived.
No, she's in Tennessee.
Oh, so you guys just decided to meet there.
Yep. Cute town.
Yeah, that's where Virginia Tech is. Near there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like I probably won't go back. It's just like remind me a lot of Asheville, but like
it's like a mountain town.
Down. Yeah. And I'm just not
a country mountain town.
Yes.
And I mean country, like hillbilly country.
Yeah. Like, and there were some cute restaurants.
No offense to you hillbillies out there.
Sorry. There were some cute restaurants and some cute shops. But like we took the girls to the zoo and they had a raccoon in one of the enclosures.
Okay.
So
vermin.
If that tells you what you need to know about that,
come to Roanoke, enjoy our raccoons.
Come on. It's cute. Come check it out. It was a really good time. We had a really good time. And it was very like kind of like a low key trip. Well, because you have, 4 kids, 2 4-year-olds, 2 2-year-olds, and 2 adults who are like, but no, it was very nice. And I really want to be someone who loves nature. I want to be someone who can be like I look at girls who like go hiking and I'm like, y'all are so cute with your boots and your shorts and your backpacks.
I want to be one of them too, but it's never going to happen.
No, I don't get it.
Yeah.
I don't, you know what I do like? If I could be airlifted, like airdropped into like onto the view, like where you're climbing up to.
Oh,
and
yes.
have like a little picnic, drink some wine.
Yeah.
Have like a
like on the Bachelor,
board.
like on the Bachelor and the Bachelorette show. You don't watch that.
Sure. But I don't want to hike it.
Yeah.
I don't want to deal with any of that.
Yeah, me neither.
And then just lift me back up and take me away.
I would just like to be airlifted to like a W hotel. And
Yeah,
then
I mean,
just
like
resort
Yeah.
away my weekend.
Yeah, that would be better. But I don't get it. And I want to get it because
Yeah.
I do think it's beautiful. Like people are like, oh my God, yeah, like the Blue Ridge Parkway. And I'm like, yeah, a bunch of trees.
While I'm clutching to the door because I'm
yeah.
afraid of falling off the side of a mountain.
Yes. Like
It is pretty though. I have driven that.
But it is. But like, okay, I'm not gonna hike it.
Would you ever rent one of those big RV camper things and like go across country or not even across country, but just like maybe to the mountains
No.
and just camp there for a few days and come back?
No. If I'm gonna rent an RV, one, it's got to be top notch because I am a little high maintenance.
Yeah.
But no, I would do like a cross country. Ryan and I have talked about that. Like when the kids are older, like taking the girls and doing like a little cross country something. But like what freaks me out is staying in the parks, like the RV parks.
Yeah.
And I'm not touching the toilet.
I was going to say, you have to hook all that stuff up, like to the waste disposal.
No, I don't have to do that. That has to be something that Ryan has to be fully committed to.
Yeah. That's not happening in my family.
But I do feel like it would be so fun to do that. Like a one-time thing. Like that would be a once.
Like all the way across to California or wherever on the West Coast and then fly back. Like a one-way, drop the camper off out there and then fly back.
No, you'd have to hit.
You go out one way, come back another.
Yeah, you'd have to hit all the states or as much as you could. But I mean, it would be like a little.
We should do that. We should take the podcast on the road. Could you imagine?
we could take the podcast and we could have a therapy stop in every city too.
Yes. That could be our first tour. See, now we're getting places.
Now we got it, you guys. It's happening.
Oh my gosh.
Shit. Okay.
We could have meetups at the campground.
Imagine how our fan base would change. Hey guys, come on. We're going to meet at the campground.
Oh, no, you're giving it a bad name. All the campers
Would you go meet a person at a campground? Would you come meet us at a campground? I'm not a big enough pool for a campground. I'm not pulling anybody to a campground.
Oh gosh. As somebody now I'm starting to compare myself to like famous people, but if there was somebody that I really liked that was doing a cross country tour, I might go. If it came by close to where I lived, I might. But now that you say campground, probably not.
Okay. I don't know, like,
but the concept.
I don't think Shania Twain is going to go have a meet and greet at the campground.
But I'm sure there'd be a lot of people that went there, though.
Oh, I'm sure there would be. Everyone in that campsite would go see her. Yeah. But listen, we're not here to talk about that. And you know what? If you're at a campground, like, I'm not judging you. I just can't do it, and I want to be able to.
Right.
The idea of it sounds.
Maybe we should just camp out at like bridal shops across the.
Oh, bridal shops. I was like, I'm not camping. That's like, let's just get our toes wet and go in a tent. Fuck no.
Yeah.
Hard no.
Okay.
Mm-mm. Okay. Anyway, now that we've given you guys that, we're going to talk about the best and worst wedding advice.
Yeah.
That's out there.
That you've been given, gave, got.
What's the best and worst wedding advice you got?
For my own wedding?
Yep.
Oh my gosh. Can't you go first?
Sure.
I'll have to think hard about that because you know me, it was a long, long time ago.
So the best wedding advice that I got was from my mommy. And she told me like a while ago, and she'll tell this to anyone. This is like her key advice that she gives to anyone getting married is that when you're walking down the aisle, stop at the very end of the aisle.
Don't do it. Turn around
and run. Get out. Use your getaway car to go. But no, just to stop at the end of the aisle and take a deep breath and just look.
Yeah.
Look at what you're doing. Be fully in the moment.
Yeah. Just
engulf yourself into what is happening.
Mm-hmm. That's good advice.
Isn't that such good advice?
That is
just
good advice
take a deep breath and look. You're getting married.
Yeah.
Look.
Yes, I got it. I got you the first time.
So that would be the best. The worst advice that I got. There's so many. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know if I really got any bad advice. And if I did, I don't really remember it at this point. I do feel like maybe this isn't not necessarily advice, and this is something we will talk about, but I do feel like as decisive as I was, there was a lot of indecisive moments. And I wish that I would have had a resource like this, not to like boost us up, but just someone out there
Right.
just being very honest with everything you're about to go through
Right.
and all the decisions that you're about to make,
Yeah.
and stop fluffing it up to be some magical like
Yeah.
yeah. If I think I just needed
A realistic point of view.
Yeah.
Yes. To put things in perspective,
Yeah.
which actually that kind of jogged my memory a little bit. And I know we joke about me and how long ago I got married and everything, but I didn't have podcasts, cell phones, computers, all of those things to look up all the stuff that we talk about, which is why I get so passionate about a lot of things. Being in the industry for so long, I think the best advice that I probably got was to just, like you said, be present, enjoy the moment because it just happens so quickly. Um, I, this really isn't a best or worst wedding advice. I remember I had a huge dress, like a total 90s dress. Okay. My sleeves were these big, huge, puffy sleeves. They look like basketballs on the sides of my shoulders, which are actually coming back now. And then the neck was like up to here with lace. And I had a peplum, which is like the little skirt over the skirt and the big bow. So the bottom of my dress was really huge. And I had probably a big crinoline under that. I remember going to the bathroom. The first time I had to go to the bathroom, in the bathroom with this huge ass dress. And I think my two best college friends were with me. Of course, they were like holding the dress up and everything. Won't get into the details of that. Everything went fine with the going to the bathroom part. Nothing got messed up. But I remember thinking, this is it. I mean, I loved my wedding and I loved everything about it, but I just remember
there's so much buildup.
It was a lot of buildup. And I felt like, God, looking back, I felt like I could have coordinated that crap in a week.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, this is what took me this long to do. Like, now that everybody was there, everybody was in place, the cake was delivered, the flowers were there, the DJ was there, the tables were set. You look around and you're like, God, that took that long to coordinate, to plan, to check up on. I guess because in the moment when you're doing it, there's so many moving pieces. But I just remember thinking, like, this is it. Like, this is what took me all this year and a half or however long it was to coordinate. So I think just kind of trying to be present in that moment and appreciate everything that you put into it. Worst advice? It probably should have been the most important advice that I took, but I didn't. Don't get up and go on your honeymoon the next morning and on a plane that leaves the airport at 5:00 at the ass crack of dawn.
Yep.
That was probably the best advice, but I didn't take it.
Yeah.
And I did that. I wouldn't recommend that because we also went to Hawaii, living in North Carolina. It was a long flight. We were dead tired when we got there, and the time change. I don't even think we could enjoy like the first 2 days that we were there. We were just so tired.
You did give me a jogger of my mind, and then we'll take a break. This is your first tidbit of advice from us. If you have a big poofy dress and you're going to the bathroom, pick your dress up from the front and walk and straddle the toilet. Don't try to sit down like normal. That's what I did. Jackie like asked me, she was like, can you help me go to the bathroom? And I was like, yeah. So like pick the front of her dress. She's like, what are you doing? And I was like, trust me. And like walk and straddle the toilet.
First of all, I think that's so random that my daughter, not that she doesn't like you and isn't close with you, but like of all people that you're gonna like, I need to go to the bathroom. I need to take someone with me. Like, how did you end up in the bathroom with my daughter?
I honestly don't really remember. But
you had literally just started working for us like a few months before. And we just hit it off so great. I had to make sure that you were at the wedding, but I just think that's so funny. Like, Jackie, why would you ask Emily? Like, we just met her and know her. Why are you taking her in the toilet with you?
It was really cute. Like, she's like, I'm sorry, I really have to pee. It's going to be a lot. And I was like, yeah, no, I get it. You got to pee. Let's go. But yes, that's the first bit of advice. If you have a big poofy dress, walk forward and straddle the toilet. Trust me, it's so much easier. Okay, we're going to take a break and then we're going to come back with our best advice. And we're back.
And we are.
One of these. Oh, yes.
One of these days I'll bring us back.
Not today.
Not today, though.
And that's why. I'm just kidding. Okay, let's go over some best advice. We're going to kind of talk this out. The first thing, and you kind of touched on this already, is that it is just one day.
Right.
Even if you do like a whole wedding weekend, which we've talked about in a previous episode, it is one day. And I think when people say that to you and they're like, it's just one day, they're trying to say it to you as like, it's not worth this much stress.
Right.
Like, take
Definitely.
a beat. It's not worth it. We're not belittling it. It is a very big day. It's your wedding.
Well, you
day.
want everything to go perfect. You've put like I was saying and talking about, I was like, oh, wow, this is it. There's a lot of buildup to it. There's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of moving pieces. There's a lot of coordination.
Yes.
And you obsess over that for so long, but that is really good advice though. It is just one day.
It's just one day. And I think that's why people now are starting to do weddings that are one smaller, or that they are destination weddings, or that they're not so intricate. And people are going back to the whole like minimalism with weddings, which I love, love, love. But it's just so much stress. And I feel like, right before COVID, like 2018, 2019, weddings were just like
over the top.
Like, let me show you the best of the best, everything that I can do. Here's all the money. And it's like the money you're spending. And it makes me sick sometimes to think about what we could have done with the money from our, like we could have bought a house. I would not bought a house. We could have had a really nice down payment.
And that's a whole another's not a word. That's a whole other conversation. A whole nother. I say that all the time. It's not a word, but anywho, that could be a whole episode right there.
But it's just one day. So take a deep breath and just remember that like, it's not something that you like, yes, you're committing to obviously the person that you're marrying, but don't stress over what color napkins you're going to have. Nobody's going to walk away from your wedding being like, can you believe she picked navy?
Well, I mean, I might do that, but.
Okay. So very few people.
No, I don't mean that like me personally, but being in the wedding industry, you start looking at you just become hyper-focused.
Never did I notice what type of chairs people had at their weddings until I started working in the industry. And now I'm like, Shibari, like,
mahogany Shibari, gold Shibari.
We have folding chairs. Okay, well, that's a choice, isn't it? Like, I'm such a fucking bitch now. It's awful.
I know.
Okay, the next thing is always have a backup plan for weather.
That's kind of, yeah. I mean, boy, that's a loaded topic. I don't think you can really go into, in this day and age, without I don't think a venue is going to allow you to not have a backup plan.
No, but you do have to make a decision
usually
a day or two before. Or maybe
actually before that. Because with Jackie's wedding, she was getting married on the property, but outside, and they needed to know like the week before, because if we were going to have to do the ceremony inside the room and then flip it for the reception, they needed more staff to be able to do that.
Yeah. So here's my thought on this. Yes, you do need to have a backup plan. And that typically is required to know in a week. Let's say you say, nope, we're going to go forward. We're going to get married outside. And then it does start raining or it starts raining that night and it's not supposed to stop. Stay calm. Have a calm mind. I work very well in stress. I love when it's stressful because I feel like my mind is just like, I don't have time to think. I'm like, all right, this has to be done. 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 We're not thinking about any of it. These are the decisions that are being made. I've thought long and hard about this. And this is something that I love. And now I kind of wish that it would have rained at my wedding so that I could have done this. But if it starts raining, you need to just embrace it. Embrace that weather.
Yeah.
And what you need to do is send out whoever can go out and go to all the different stores and buy all the umbrellas in those stores and just have them there for all of your guests and just embrace that your wedding is going to be a little damp.
Yeah. You just make it a thing.
Some cute pictures. It could be so fun. You're getting your guests involved. If you have something that is just something, make sure whatever it is that you have some type of backup plan for people.
Right. Like umbrellas if it's raining is what you're talking about.
Yes. And if it's like a scorcher outside, I'd have to think on that one. and you're getting married outside.
Umbrellas would work for that too.
Umbrellas would work for that as well. Yeah. But like, just
you have to embrace what is happening. When you try to fight something, it makes it worse.
yes.
So if it's raining, you have to accept the fact that you're going to get wet or your hair isn't, or the bottom of your dress is going to get dirty if you're outside.
Complaining about it, trying to
it's only going to make it worse.
It's only going to make it worse.
Yeah.
The next one is you can't please everyone.
Oh, that's a life lesson for me. That's a whole therapy session right there.
The wedding situation. That's just life.
Yeah.
We have talked about this, I think, in every single episode that we have done now, all 53 that we have done at this point. But your wedding is about you and your partner. And yes, your parent, blah, 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 whatever. But you don't need your mom's personality to shine through on the wedding day. That's not something that is necessary. What you do need is for everyone to be able to walk in and be like, yeah, this is their wedding. 100%.
Yeah.
100% this is their wedding.
Yeah.
And I think people start losing sight of that sometimes.
When you start trying to please everybody. Well, I'm going to do this, even if it's in the best of intentions.
Yes.
Like, oh, I know my mom would love this if I did this, and she probably would, but now it's become this ode to everybody that you're trying to please. Yeah. So that's not a good representation of you as a couple.
No. And I think that's the biggest thing is just, it needs to be you and your partner talking about, okay, let's make this decision. And if you need outside advice, but I feel like you kind of know what you want. Like, you know what you want, and you're kind of asking other people to validate what you want, but they're not going to, because it's not their wedding.
Right. They're still going to give you their opinion. We talked about that with wedding dress shopping.
Yes.
When we did that episode on wedding dress shopping.
Yeah.
You take these people there because you want their advice, but they're giving you what
they would want.
What they would want.
Yeah. So you cannot please everyone. The next advice, and this is something that I did at my wedding, is make sure you eat during your reception.
Oh, that's the one thing that I have heard more than anything is that people don't get to eat.
Yes, because you're going around, you're bobbing around, you're hello, hey, thanks so much for coming. You're taking pictures because that's the time.
Your adrenaline is on high and you just want to get around and do everything and see everything.
Yes. Make sure you eat. Sit down and eat. And because you probably aren't eating as much as you should. You should. That was silly. Ask your caterer for a to-go box at the end of the night for you and your new spouse.
Right.
Ask that. And so we did that because I think I talked about this and what I don't remember, but like I did eat my dinner, but my dress was so tight because I had it customized to be able to take the straps off. So they had to add in 2 extra bonings, and one of them went right into my tummy.
Yeah.
So I regurgitated.
Oh yeah, it's uncomfortable.
My dinner.
Well, I think your nerves are like, you may have time to sit down and eat, and you may want to eat, but you just, when you have a nervous stomach, sometimes your
really
appetite isn't quite there.
So make sure you eat and let your vendors know. I got to sit down. I got to eat.
Right.
I got to eat. And I know, oh, that's great. Like, we're going to do all the toast and stuff. Then no, you can't sit there and be eating while someone is telling you how much they love you, because then you have to give a toast and you're getting pictures. So you're not going to be like, honk, honk, like
honk, honk. Did you get something in your eye?
Wiping tears.
Oh gosh.
But you know what I mean? Like, that's not an ideal time for you to actually eat either, because you have to pay attention to what they're saying. They're taking pictures. So
there has to be almost like a time out. We're blowing the whistle. Everybody eat.
Yeah.
And go to the bar, get your drink, sit your ass down. Yeah. We're taking 20 minutes. Everybody's got to eat.
Everyone's going to eat. And that'll give your photographer time to eat, your wedding planner. You got to feed those people. So it'll give all your vendors time to eat.
Yeah.
But just
Jackie and Ben had a wait staff person who was assigned to them.
Yeah, we did too.
And I thought that was such a great thing for them to have, because right after the ceremony, when they were doing pictures and everybody was at like cocktail hour, there were servers out there for the whole bridal party, but specifically for the bride and groom, and had appetizers and drinks and things for them while that was happening. So I thought that was great.
Yeah, that is really good. Ask your venue if they have something like that, or if you can afford to have extra staff. Yeah, to request it. The last bit of beautiful advice that we'll give you, and then we'll take another break, is enjoy the process. Change your mindset. So we kind of talked about like it's just one day, but you can't sometimes help it. You get so wrapped up in everything. Like, the only real example that I can use from my own personal is like the whole venue situation, which I know I've talked about that 1,000 times. I had an original venue. It didn't work out. I had to find another one. We embraced it instead of it being like
a negative.
Oh my God, what are we going to do? And the venue that we ended up getting married at, it was so sweet because Ryan was like, this is where I feel like I'm supposed to marry you at.
Yeah.
It was so wonderful. But that could have been something that we could have postponed or canceled our wedding over. Like, and people do, which sounds so silly.
Yeah.
When you're not in it, but when you're in it, you're like, we have to postpone our wedding. We don't have a venue.
Right. Well, it's one of those, people always say that everything happens for a reason. And some people say that from a religious or spiritual place. And, it's just, for me, it's just kind of a positive. You have to find something positive out of something negative. You don't have to, but then you're just going to be negative and it's going to bring you down. You're going to be in a bad mood and you're going to be stressed out about it. So if you try to find, go by that everything happens for a reason and just say this venue wasn't meant to be, we're going to find something that we like better. When you go into it with that positivity, then, there is really no other reason than to be happy about it.
It really changes everything. So just try to enjoy the process. Everything is new. And I know that can be overwhelming to some people, that it's like things happen so fast. You're making all these crazy decisions so quickly. But remember at the end of the day why you're doing this. You're getting to marry the person you love. You're getting to celebrate with your friends and family. So you have to make this decision to get to the finish line.
Yeah. And it's 24 hours. So just like any other day, it will be here and gone before you realize it. So you really want to enjoy the process and the moment.
The end.
The end.
Okay, we're going to take another break and then we're going to come back with some of the worst advice that's out there.
And we're back.
Look at her. Look at her bringing us back.
Why is that so awkward for me to say?
I don't know. You silly little lady.
I think, what's that movie? I'm back.
Here's Johnny.
Oh, what's the I'm back one? Is that an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie?
Probably. It sounds something like
or
Arnold
Poltergeist. I don't know why that came to my mind.
Poltergeist.
I don't know. Anywho, well, here we are.
Okay.
Here we are.
We're here. Thank you. Ding, 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 ding. Worst advice.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of that.
You can say that again. It's the things that people just in life in general, the times that I have gotten the worst advice in my whole fucking life when I was getting married and when I was pregnant.
Oh, absolutely.
Like
I'm even going to say that the pregnancy motherhood stuff is probably the worst because, once you having a child is not like a one and done child's, it's over like a wedding, like you get married and then the wedding is done.
Yeah.
But children, like it's a continuation. So I think child advice is probably the worst, but there's some doozy wedding stuff out there.
Yes. Too. So I had to filter through quite a bit and I had to pick, the ones that I was just like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
First one. Don't make a seating chart. Just let the guests sit where they want.
Yeah. Says the person who never had to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
that's yeah.
Here's the reason not to do that. If you let everyone just sit wherever they want, you're going to have tables that have too many people sitting at them. You're going to have chairs missing from other tables.
Right.
You're going to have a fucking mess. You're going to have people sitting by themselves because there are people that you've invited that don't know everyone. Your friends from work or like from wherever, and they don't know anyone.
Right. Or you have multiple family members that you had to split up into multiple tables. And it's like Aunt Susie wants to sit by Aunt Betty and she's going to drag a chair.
And now they push tables together. You're literally giving control to your guests.
Yeah.
Yes.
A free for all.
Don't do that. Seating charts.
It's bad enough when you just assign people to a table and you don't have place cards or anything. It's like, oh, everyone's at table 7. That's bad enough. Cause then people are just like, I want to sit here. No, I'm sitting here. Well, can you move over? Yeah.
And you're like, just fucking Just do it. Do the whole seating chart.
Mhm.
It can be fun. You can make it a fun little organized game. And seating charts now, like for how your guests come to get them, can be so cute.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
so many different ways to do that. But definitely make
a seating
a
chart.
seating chart.
I don't even care if you only have 5 tables.
Make a seating chart. Make a seating chart. The next one is send invitations to more people than you can afford to be at your wedding.
Okay. I'm in favor of like A list, B list kind of thing.
Yes.
But only when you get declines.
Yes.
And you had a certain amount of people that you can invite. And we already know that like 20%, it can be as high as 20% that RSVP no. That doesn't mean add more people and send out a bunch of invitations banking on that, because that will probably not work to your advantage in the long run.
The only time that I will ever do, I won't because I'm already married. But the only time that I would ever do that or say like, yeah, go ahead, do it, is when you're having a destination wedding. And I mean a destination wedding, like outside of the country destination wedding, because let's just face it, we invite people for the gifts and for the cash that they send and for their love and affection and support. But if you're getting married in 45 minutes away from you, that's not destination. People will make that drive. But if you're getting married across the ocean,
right, a plane flight away, or not even really, but
yeah, like if you're getting married across the ocean, if you have to fucking take a plane ride that's 5 hours plus, and people have to take off work, like it becomes a whole I can't just go for the weekend. Now I have to go for 5+ days. More people are going to say no than yes.
Right.
But do not.
I mean, I feel like even with that, you still have to have somewhat of a plan.
Oh yeah. You still, because
if you're feeding people or paying for any part of reservations, or your fees are based on bookings and things like that, then there are other things that you have to take into consideration. But I think the point of that is a lot of people won't come because it is a lot of extra costs and time off work.
But if you're staying local-ish, even like 2 hours away, do not just send out invitations because you're like, yeah, all these people won't come, because you know what's going to happen? Because what happens to people is karma. You know what's going to happen is that all those motherfucking people are going to check yes, and they're all going to show up, and you're going to be,
oh, we can make a day trip out of that. So much fun.
Yep. And then you're going to be screwed.
Yep. You're going to be paying for a lot more people than you wanted to.
DIYing everything can save money.
DIYing has to be the biggest, what's the word I'm looking for? Like farce is not the word I'm looking for, but people think that it's going to be cheaper because you're doing it yourself. It's a scam.
It is a scam.
DIY is a scam. It is the biggest scam. And I'm a DIYer and I love to DIY, but that's because I like to do it. And and Jackie and I did some things for her wedding. I think we talked about this on a DIY episode. We wanted to do those things, so they became activities and experiences together. But if you think you're doing it to save money, you are misinformed.
You are
100% misinformed, because time is money. And if you're not a crafter to begin with, or a DIYer, you got to go source all that stuff. You have to go buy it. You have to spend money on it. Your time is money that now you don't have time to do something else. It's a recipe for disaster.
And if you're going to do all that, you have to have a place to store everything that you're DIYing.
Transport it there, collect it when the wedding is over.
Yeah.
What are you going to do with it now?
Yeah. No, don't. You know what? Time is money.
Time is money.
Now, if it's something that you love to do and you are a crafter, and you're like, oh my God, I did like everything in my wedding. Great. But 97% of the people are not like that.
Yeah.
They don't want to do that.
The people who really get into, or the people that should really get into that, or the people that enjoy doing that, have the time and the energy and even a little bit of knowledge. Because if you're not a crafter, you're not going to become a crafter.
Well, that's the other thing too. Like if you've never DIY'd in your life and you choose your wedding day to do that.
Yeah.
Think about that for a second.
Yeah. Huge. Big mistake. Huge. Now, with everything being in the wedding industry, with everything that Jackie and I DIY'd, we donated that to a local wedding planner. I mean, she wanted it. So I asked her if she wanted it, and she took what she wanted, but she was able to reuse that for other people. So it was fun, but it doesn't save money. I can promise you that. I actually think, because I do like to craft out, side of wedding stuff, it can actually be more expensive.
Well, yes, because you don't have any of the tools.
Right.
It's like when you are doing something in your house and, like, hey, now I need, I don't know, anything.
A chop saw.
Thank you.
A sander.
Yes. I don't have
a compressor.
I don't have any of this.
Compressor when we did this wall.
I don't have any of this. And I have to buy it. Once you add everything up, now if you use it for multiple projects, okay. But once you add everything up, you're probably spending the same amount, if not a little bit more than if you would have just hired someone to do it for you in the first place.
Yeah. If it's a one-off thing, just pay somebody to do it.
Just pay someone. This one is my favorite worst advice. Save on your photographer and videographer and just crowdsource.
Oh gosh.
Just get your crowd, your guests to do it all. Old photography is in, flash photography is back in. Just get your guests to do it.
Yeah, that now. Did you not see the Friends episode with the disposable cameras? With Ross and Chandler from their wedding?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh boy. Yeah.
Now, I do think doing that, like having disposable cameras on the tables and like having your guests do that is cute. I have seen that where like they put the buckets in there and you go get your film
developed. This is like Sesame Street word association.
Come on, say it. Developed. I do think that is fun and cute because you're getting the perspective of so many people, but I would never do that in lieu of a photographer.
Well, no, I wouldn't do any saving on money or DIYing in lieu of a photographer. That is the one. I don't know why I've always been super passionate about a photographer, because 10 years from now, 15 years from now, even my kids are all adults now. And sometimes they, will have one of those days where we're pulling out old albums. That is all you have left. I mean, you have memories in your head and a few other things around, but that is really it. And it's funny to go back, not funny, but for me, it's funny to go back and look at old photographs and what people were wearing and what they were doing, know. Yeah, that's not anything I ever advise to skimp on, is photography.
No, not at all. And actually, I would say to spend more money than you plan on spending on photography, because you, again, will look back at your pictures in 20
Now, you don't
years.
have to buy the most expensive package and get 55,000 proofs in an album or anything like that. But
definitely don't just try to budget.
Yeah. And just one more on the photography note. That is the one person that you are spending all day with, from the moment you get up, getting ready, all the way through till you're leaving. So you need to have a good rapport with that person. And it's important to choose photography, not just on the actual product and what the photography looks like, but how you connect with the person as well.
Okay. This last worst advice might be a little bit unpopular, but I'm going to explain. I'm interested to see your thoughts on it, Laura. Your wedding day is the most important day of your life. Now, I know that we have said up until this point, your wedding day might be the most important day of your life.
Well, up until the point you're getting married.
Maybe. Yeah. It might be. If you go to the courthouse, yes, it's an important day, but is it the most important day of your life? If you literally were just like, hey, what are you doing next Thursday? I'm going to go get a dress. You go do your thing. Let's meet at the courthouse. Let's get married. Let's do it. There's no planning, no buildup. My thinking on this is, when you have a distressed bride who is crying, let's just use the napkins again, crying over her napkins. And she's like, it's the most important day of my life. Like, no.
It is an important day.
Yes.
It probably ranks in the top 10, maybe even top 5. But I would not put so much pressure on yourself to think that it is the most important day.
No. And yes, we work in the wedding industry. Yes, obviously we are fully supportive of our vendors and everything that they do, but there's so much pressure on your wedding to be perfect and to be the biggest, most great, wonderful event ever. And I need to show up, all these people and show them how amazing I am and all the trends. I have to have everything that's trending in my wedding. It's just like one big show off
Well,
ball.
it loses the importance of what it is.
Yes. And
then it actually becomes something that it really isn't.
That it isn't. And that's why people get so stressed out.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, let's go back. At the end of the day, you are marrying the person that you love.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you crying about napkins?
Right.
Why are you
I think about, obviously my own wedding. I've had so many amazing, important moments in my life since Dom and I got married 32 years ago. Jackie, my daughter, 4 years ago. That was the most fun that I had, planning a wedding and getting to be a mother of the bride and watching my only daughter get married. That was a super fun and very important day for my family, for me and my family. But I am looking so forward to the future days because she's still young and married, married young, like only 4 years. So I know there's going to be so many more important days. So I'm not just speaking to it from experience because I'm older, but because it's easy to say things sometimes.
It is.
When you've been through it. Like when we were talking about the whole
should we just elope or whatnot, or destination wedding?
It's so easy to say when you've had a big wedding, the church wedding you wanted or the venue one. It's very easy to say that when you've had it. And it's hard to tell someone who hasn't had that just whatever. It's done. It's not the most important day. Don't worry about the color of the napkins. I think a lot of people speak to experience from that, but
but it's because there's so much pressure that's put on it that makes these people think, especially girls, we get so stressed out and so involved.
Mm-hmm.
There's always that one person in the wedding planning process in the couple that is so overly involved and obsessed and stressed out with every detail of the wedding that it takes the joy away.
It does take the joy
away. And you're
like,
well, it's the most important day of our life. This is our wedding day. It has to be perfect. And it's like, but it doesn't. When your marriage should be what you're focused on.
Yes. And when you're bringing together so many different components, so many different people, meaning the vendors that are having a role in it, I can almost guarantee you something is not going to be executed to the exact way that you thought it was. Something will go wrong, even if it's very minute. I'm not talking about a massive disaster of any kind, but there's just no way, or I feel like that there's no way that all of those pieces can come together seamlessly without any some sort of disruption. You may not even know what it is, but
something has been disrupted. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, that's all, folks. Just kidding. But no, I mean, it is, just take it for it being like, I liked what you said. It's 24 hours.
It could almost
goes.
Yeah. And not being the most important day of your life, that could almost be like a life mantra. Whenever something is overwhelming in your life, or you're putting a lot of energy into something, is to just think that this is not the most important day of my life. Just, especially during the planning process, when you feel like, oh my God, the flowers, if I don't get it done by this day, they have to order them. And that day is not the wedding day, but that day of whatever you're experiencing is not the most important day. Just kind of let things roll.
All right, guys. Another great episode.
Yeah, that was a good one.
That was a good one.
Yeah, I enjoy talking about things I get really passionate about.
Yeah, me too. Okay, follow us on YouTube. Well, subscribe on YouTube, whatever you do there. Instagram, TikTok. We have new episodes every Tuesday.
Yeah.
Tell your friends. Tell people you don't like. I don't care. Until next time. Bye.
Bye.